I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 281 of the program. Tonight we are reviewing The Damned, a 2024 film, which I guess you could categorize as folk horror. Yeah. My name is Amy. I'm your fearless leader. Almost forgot what I was going to say.
Forgot your words.
Yeah. Shh.
It's your first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joined as always by my lovely and talented co-host, Kay. Hello.
Hello.
You feeling any better today?
0%.
0% better.
Sorry about the stuffy nose, friends.
Yeah.
My beautiful voice.
Poor Kay even barfed from this one.
No, the world doesn't need to know that.
Well, it's a traumatic experience barfing. You should get some sympathy.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't come from drinking. It wasn't even my fault.
Yeah. Terrible. Nobody
Terrible.
likes to barf. But at least we've been watching lots of movies, and that's nice.
That's right.
We watched another movie outdoors. Was it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and we were distracted by all the mosquitoes eating us, and I completely forgot about the ending, so I'm glad we rewatched it this morning.
So did I. But we'll talk about that. First, we got to get into some horror movie homework.
That's right. I picked one.
Yeah, this was the first one that Kay suggested, and I had never seen it.
And I'm glad we watched it.
How
I
about
fucking
that?
loved it.
I loved it too. I thought it was great. We'll talk about that one first.
Okay.
So we watched, at Kay's suggestion, Straight Jacket, which was going back in time a little bit to 1964. Straight Jacket stars one Miss Joan Crawford.
Yeah, it does.
And you just watched, a documentary about her?
I was listening to a podcast, 6 Degrees of Joan Crawford.
Oh, was it interesting?
Yes, it was great. It talked all about her whole career from coming to Hollywood from New York, and, you know, just how she got her foot in the door and how they made her change her name.
What was her real name? Do you remember?
Lucille Le Sueur.
Because it sounded like the sewer.
The sewer, yeah. A French form of the sewer.
I thought it was a pretty name.
No. Well, also...
You were wrong.
Well, she was also a little... trying to get her way to the top and sleeping her way that way, so they were kind of trying to get away from that as well.
I see.
So
That sound is Boss making his bed.
it'll be done in 12 to 14 minutes.
Yeah. Wow, he's really going to town.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Straight Jacket was made a couple years after whatever happened to Baby Jane.
That's correct.
And in this one, I mean, Joan Crawford is definitely center stage. She's on screen most of the time.
Right.
And this one was directed by William Castle, who is best known for all of his gimmicks that he would do while he was advertising his movies. Like, he did one called The Tingler, and they put little buzzers underneath everyone's seats so they would, like, vibrate during key moments of the movie. He did all kinds of crap like that.
The Tingler.
Yeah, and he made, like, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill. He also produced Rosemary's Baby, which was kind of weird for him at the time.
Well,
Oh, he's settled, ladies and gentlemen. That's great.
big yawn.
So I think we both loved Straight Jacket.
We sure did.
Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, I loved the twist at the end. It was all very much like, is she ready to be out of the asylum? And then she gets triggered by 27 things, but it's all her daughter's doing. Like, her daughter's just like, anyways, I just wanted you to look exactly like you were before you left me 20 years ago. And she's like, I'm a little too old for this look. And she's like, Mother, it'll make me happy. And then she spills coffee on her dress and she goes in that laundry room and she's so, like, closed in. It reminds her of the asylum. She's, like, freaking out and has to go home. And she's like, you're fine. You did it. It's fine. Just stay. And then she brings out the bangles that she wore the night of the murder. And she's just like, it just reminds me of you picking me up, Mommy.
We should tell them what it's about. A little bit.
Too late. Figure it out.
It's about Joan Crawford, 20 years previously, murdered her husband and his mistress because she walked in on them together, and she did it in front of her daughter.
She did.
So she goes away to an asylum. She's found insane. and spends 20 years there, and then she gets out and goes to live with her daughter and her brother and sister-in-law who's been taking care of her daughter.
Right.
And the daughter, as soon as I saw her, I was like, she looks familiar to me. And it turns out I only knew her from being the senator from The Silence of the Lambs.
But
I mean, she was in
it.
a bunch of other stuff, but I figured it out from that.
You got it.
I did, and I felt really good.
Yeah.
But Joan Crawford is great in this. She has to switch up her emotions like 40 times a scene.
Yeah.
It's just up and down, and
She's just trying to do right by her crazy daughter, who turns out to be the actual crazy one.
yeah.
And there's this moment where they have made a Joan Crawford mask. So it's Joan Crawford looking at Joan Crawford. It's just lovely.
Joan Crawford struggling with Joan Crawford over an axe. There's also a good amount of beheadings in this, and they must have been shocking at the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was lovely.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool movie.
Would recommend.
And it was written by Robert Bloch, who wrote Psycho. And like Psycho, it has a big twist. And like Psycho, it goes to great pains to totally explain the twist afterwards, which nobody needed.
Yeah.
Nobody needed that.
Yeah.
Good old Robert Bloch. And
Well.
here's how I did it.
Well,
and
you
here's
really-
why I did it.
Really hit us over the head with that, unlike the movie we're about to review today.
Yeah.
I could have used some of that.
A little bit. So, Straight Jacket. What did we watch that on? Tubi, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, that one we couldn't find without ads, but it's a definite recommend, even though Kay spoiled the twist for you.
You had math amount of years to watch it. Insert
Also,
math.
to be fair, it becomes pretty obvious if you've seen any movies at all.
Yeah, I think Amy called it, I don't know, in the dress scene, the scene that they bought the dress.
Yeah. I've seen a movie or two,
Yeah.
but this was 1964. I have such a love for Joan Crawford. I don't know what it is about her. I just want to take care of her.
Yeah.
I know she was awful and stuff, but
She puts out a good movie.
yeah, bitch can act.
Yeah.
The other movie we watched was Sisters, directed by Brian De Palma in 1972. Brian De Palma is kind of known as a Alfred Hitchcock wannabe. And prior to this movie, he did a bunch of like kind of comedy stuff. And this was his first foray into thrillers. And it's got a million homages to Alfred Hitchcock in it.
Yeah.
Especially in this one, the voyeurism and the watching people across the way aspect, which is, of course, very Rear Window. What'd you think about this movie?
I liked it. I had a real love-hate relationship with the reporter, and I couldn't really tell you why when you asked me. I think that I just loved Lois Lane too much. And so I was like, get out of here. This has nothing to do with you.
You just wanted to see more Margot Kidder.
Yeah, just go. But yeah, I liked it a lot as well. Turns out I like old movies. Who knew until I met you?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks. I was also very surprised to see that in my brain when we were watching it, I was like, she has to be related to, what's her name from the L Word?
Marina? No.
Marina.
What was her name?
Helena. She has to be related.
Margot Kidder does.
Right.
Okay.
Because they, like, the way that they hold their face and the facial expressions just look so familiar to me. And then I looked it up. No relation. Completely wrong about that. But Margot did play Jenny's mother in a couple of episodes.
Which I must have blocked out or stopped watching it by then or something. Because I would have definitely... I used to love Margot Kidder. And I felt so bad for her when she had her mental issues.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, that was a surprise little tidbit. And I liked knowing that.
I forgot from the first time I watched this, or the whatever time I've watched this, to the time we watched it most recently, that Margot Kidder isn't really the star of the movie. The reporter is.
Right.
I forgot about the reporter totally.
Yeah.
But of course, someone's got to be there to watch it. And what that one is about is a woman with a twin who
Conjoined.
Yeah, has been separated, and she has gone crazy. And you don't know if her twin is really alive or if she's just crazy and becoming her twin.
Right.
And she has this ex-husband, who is like the doctor that performed her surgery to deconjoin them.
And also might be doing some nefarious things behind the scenes. I don't know.
Who definitely
Who knows?
looks like he's doing nefarious things just because he's the skeeviest looking guy on the planet.
Yeah.
And Margot Kidder has this weird French-Canadian accent.
She's so cute.
What I read was that she and the lady who plays the reporter were all friends, and I believe they lived together and they would have parties all the time. And Brian De Palma wrote this screenplay and wrote them into it as these characters as like a Christmas present for them.
You got to give your friends a leg up.
I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
But I wonder why we needed Margot Kidder to have a French-Canadian accent. She's Canadian, but she's not French-Canadian. And it's funny and weird. And I wonder if it was maybe just like,
range.
I want to try this. Let me try this.
Yeah.
You're my friend. And he was just like, okay. But it's weird.
I didn't mind it.
She's so adorable in it.
Yeah.
You don't really mind. And it's a fun one because, like Psycho, it sets up with a character that you're kind of... that's the character you're following, the guy that she hooks up with. And then they kill him off. And seeing that murder is what drives the neighbor lady to start investigating, because she's a journalist.
Right. And the police won't... Yeah, the police won't listen to her. Woman, get out of here. Stop bothering us with this.
Stop writing these police brutality articles that make us look bad. We're not going to help you. And then this
doesn't
also
help that the guy that got murdered was a black man, and they're just like, why would we care about this?
Yeah, you actually think we would care?
Why?
So Brian De Palma also develops the use of split screen in this movie, and I believe this is the first movie it was done in. And some of it is not...
It was rough.
Some of it's a little silly. However, I really liked the scene where the ex-husband is cleaning up the crime scene, and the reporter is talking to the police, being like, the murderer could still be in there. The guy could still be alive. Go help. And so you see that on one side, and this guy cleaning up on the other side, and the police just telling her to fuck off while it's getting cleaned up. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
The initial split screen was pretty corny. But when it works really well.
You know, someone has to take baby steps.
And it's been used a million times since then.
Right. Someone has to be the first.
Is this movie schlocky? Yes. But I really like it. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun too.
So those were our horror homeworks for this time. We still have to watch Blackula. We haven't done that yet because Kay wanted to watch Straight Jacket, and I wasn't going to say no to a Joan Crawford movie I've never seen.
Listen, I had to get into it before we kept moving along in our decades. We had to go back to the 60s.
To be fair, there are some older movies that I really wish you could see that are just not on streaming.
Yeah.
And I'm being cheap about. Like, I really love Village of the Damned. I think that's a creepy sci-fi horror movie with a really cool premise. It's not on streaming. And Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original version, I think is also very good. But one day we'll get to them.
We've got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Oh, I think we'll probably do Don't Look Now next, which you never finished, I don't think. So next we're either going to do, after Blackula, we're either going to do Don't Look Now or The Wicker Man. Because those are both from 1973. We started Don't Look Now once, but I think you fell asleep.
That sounds right.
Well, we might try it again. But I think you'll like The Wicker Man, so we might just go right to that one. We'll see. We shall see. By the way, Sisters is available on HBO Max and the Criterion Channel right now, streaming.
Both together.
Always
together.
Always together. My Criterion membership renews in August. It's $100 a year. I haven't decided yet.
It's less than $10 a month.
Yes, but... All right. You ready to start talking about The Damned? They can't hear you nodding.
Yes.
Great. Let's get into
audio
it.
media, yeah.
That's right. The Damned was rated R. It has a nice runtime of 1 hour, 29 minutes. Thank you, director. That director is Thordur Pálsson, an Icelandic fella. It was written by Jamie Hannigan. It stars Odessa Young, Joe Cole, and Siobhan Finneran. It premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival June 6, 2024. It was released in the US. I think it was a limited theatrical release, but not for very long. January 3rd of 2025. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is 90% fresh with critics and 47% fresh with the audience.
Oh.
Yeah. We watched this on Hulu. That is where it is streaming currently. What is this about? This takes place at the end of the 19th century, in like the 1870s. And there is this widow named Eva who runs this isolated fishing outpost in Iceland after her husband was killed last year. And there is a small crew and they go out fishing, but they're starving. They've been using their bait fish to eat because they don't have any. And they're like a 3-day walk away from the next town.
I think boat ride.
Oh, okay.
3-day
boat ride from the next town. So they're far away. They're very isolated. And one day a ship wrecks off of the coast on these rocks. The Devil's Teeth, isn't that what they call them? That's nice. And there's some people out in the water and they see him from afar. And she makes the final call not to rescue the passengers because they don't have any food. And what are they going to do?
Yeah, and you could tell that is her motivation the whole time. She makes this big speech literally the night before about how she really only cares about the men. It's not necessarily about getting money in their pocket at the end of the expedition. It is she wants to keep everyone alive. So it makes sense from her perspective.
Yes. However, after some of the bodies wash up on shore and some of their things from their boat, like some salted pork, washes up, and they start to use this stuff and they bury the bodies, the woman who cooks and cleans for them starts to tell them different folk tales about the Droger, which is an Icelandic or a Norse monster that's like a revenant. It's like a zombie. It's not exactly a ghost, but it has shape-shifting properties and also can infect your dreams and things like that. And there are different precautions that you're supposed to take, and she kind of does them, but Eva, the widow, is against it and says, this is not going to help us psychologically, but she then starts to see visions of this revenant, and so do the other people. So there's a lot of, pitting people against each other and people just going wackadoo and in this very pretty but very unforgiving, harsh climate.
Yes.
What did you think of this movie?
I liked it much more in the second viewing.
Yeah, I did too.
I remember disliking it very much when we were watching it the first time. But it turns out I just didn't remember the ending, which we will talk about. And I'm not 100% on board with the ending, but it did give it more validity for me in the end.
Do you think that you would have watched the movie differently the second time if you had remembered that ending?
Because I would try to freaking see more things.
I know. I wish, yeah. Anyway, go on.
I guess it might be a third watch.
I don't know. At least
kidding.
It's short.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought that the actual footage was very effective. It was beautiful and haunting, and it was so sparse. There was nothing around but ice, and you could tell that they were trying to keep their spirits up, but they were starving, and it was just everything was empty. And I liked that a lot.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, that you like those kind of man against nature movies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's going wrong. But the interpersonal relationships I also really liked. It was only like a 7-man crew and then the 2 women. And you really got to know the characters. And I liked the whole premise of it.
And the way it was executed?
The execution, I'm going to give it like a 3.5.
What did you think about kind of the ghosty scenes?
I really liked at the beginning when they first started showing the ghost. I liked the wet footprints. I liked the lurking in the corners and like her seeing it and then not seeing it. Okay, that was just in my brain. Like, I'm starving. I haven't eaten for days. I'm hallucinating. I have this groupthink mentality of everyone else is like telling me these ghost stories that they all know. Like, it's not even when Helga's there, when they're putting the bodies into coffins, they're talking about wrapping the ropes and putting the nails in the feet. So it's like all of these fishermen know the stories. Yeah. So the groupthink is happening.
Fishermen are very superstitious.
Well, you'd have to be.
Sure. I liked that they had a lady in a position of authority and that they deferred to her. That was surprising.
Yeah, and they didn't do any violence against her.
Right.
That was lovely.
Yeah, that was nice.
Wow. It's the small things.
I can't imagine that would be true. True to life, but whatever. It was nice to see, kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Although, it just made me think so much about long dresses and how stupid and impractical they were.
It was the 1800s.
You're going through high snow that's going to soak the bottom of your dress and make you freezing cold.
And it's so heavy.
Right. And I'm sure that's nice to have a bunch of layers to keep you warm, but if they're all getting soaked with water in the snow, and you don't want to have a short dress because then your legs are cold.
Right.
Pants!
But that little shawl thing was adorable.
Yes, that was cute. You're not wrong.
Thank you.
And then inside, when your light is and your cooking is dependent on fire, you're going to have long things that drag behind you?
In what world?
Why?
Yeah.
I ask you. It doesn't make sense.
Well, what was she supposed to wear? Her fucking bloomers?
Trousers. Anyway, that's not the movie's fault. That's the fault of the 1800s.
Yeah.
Dresses were stupid.
Yeah. But she looked good doing it.
It's weird to me that this is an English language movie with like a British cast and they're all supposed to be Icelandic. But whatever. The scenery is beautiful.
And they called them foreigners, the people that were actually speaking, like...
Well, I think those people, what were they speaking?
I read it somewhere, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
So yes, this is folk horror, but it's also kind of a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
It's both. And I think it looks really pretty. It has beautiful scenery, and I'm a sucker for candlelight.
Yeah.
And it's got some very lovely candlelight, especially in the storytelling scene, which I really liked.
And for it all being candlelit, there weren't too many scenes where I'm like, I can't see nothing.
Right.
I can't see anything going on.
The dark scenes look good.
Yeah.
And they use the shadows and stuff to their advantage with the jump scares. I just wish there weren't so many of them. There were too many.
Jump scares? There
were too many times, and they just got really repetitive for me of showing that over and over again. I feel like they should have varied it.
Oh, I see. The being.
The Draugr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like when they would go from a dark scene to throwing the paddles into the boat, and that was a like shocking noise, or her like smashing the ice on top of the water, also shocking. I liked those. I liked the switching from, all right, it's the next day.
Yes, those transitions were okay, but they did the same jump scare thing where like something would break her out of it so many times.
Yeah.
It started to become repetitive and have diminishing returns for me. But I liked, like you did, I liked the interactions between the characters. I liked how like storytelling and singing was their entertainment, and how we got to see some of that.
Yeah.
And I liked the little attention to detail, like the way that they all had frostbite on their cheeks. I thought that
And
was
more and
really
more.
good. And more and more.
She was a really hands-on widow of a captain also. Like,
Yes.
she was out in that boat with them
Yeah, she
most
was.
of the time.
And that was interesting, that she was okay with doing that.
Yeah.
And I liked the moral kind of quandary in this of what do you do? I think if I was in charge, I would have saved them and hoped that, you know, having more people would help us to get more food, and that if things went wrong, you could just eat those people and you wouldn't have to eat your friends.
Right. I mean, worst case scenario, if you all make it through it, you just don't have to, like, portion them in on your money because you saved their lives. Like, if
Right.
that's one of the deterrents, like...
But I can see why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Especially because her husband had died in that same spot.
Right. The devil's teeth.
And I liked that they kind of went into a little bit of the conflict between, you know, pagan beliefs and folklore and Christianity.
Sure.
Through the character of that one kid who loses his dad and then gets upset about, you know.
Right.
You know, this is our punishment. And then we're punished again because they take the stuff, they go and pillage.
Right.
And then they go have like kind of a party with the stuff that they get. And I thought that the score was kind of nice and waily. It had all the woo, woo, which I always like in movies. And I thought that the special effects were pretty good. There was a good neck slashing scene.
Oh.
I like a good neck slashing.
Yeah.
However, I don't think the twist was done very well.
No.
And felt like a
I don't
tacked
think
on.
that anyone disagrees with you.
No.
I don't think there's... Well, the critics, giving it
Sure.
a goddamn 90%.
I think that if that's the way they were going, they should have made it more ambiguous throughout the movie.
Right.
And less overt, and I think that the ending takes away any sense of ambiguity that the movie had.
Right. It's just, you're deciding, did they fail to show you enough evidence this way, or did they fail to show you enough evidence this way? I don't know which the ending is, but it's not like open-ended that makes you feel like, oh, this is thought-provoking. It's just more
Right.
maddening.
It kills the ambiguity, and that's bad. I like to have a little bit of an open end to the
Sure.
movie because it makes you want to think about it more.
Yeah.
And also, what does it say about this twist that we just watched it a week ago and we already forgot it? It doesn't...
It's so short, too. It's like, what, the last minute and a half?
Yeah, it comes at the end and just... Instead of putting like a button on the end of the movie, it diminishes it to me. And says, it could have been about these things, but instead, it's definitely about this.
Right.
So for that reason, I rate this a 3. I think that it's got a lot of good stuff about it, but I don't think that they do a great job with the scary scenes. I also found the squishy water sound a little bit irritating.
Oh, I didn't mind that. I liked it.
It's better than the cracky poppy sound that they use and everything.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the Draugr, or Draugr. I think that taking stuff from mythology is always creepy and interesting.
Yeah, and it's a fun new one. Like, it's not necessarily just a being that's inside of the body that it was killed in. Like, I had read something that mentioned seals, and I was like, oh, wait, they did talk about the seals barking.
Because they're shapeshifters,
Yeah.
and they do that to lure people.
For sure. When Daniel goes off the boat.
What did you think about the little unrequited love portion of this?
Well, I thought that it was going to lead to a very different ending. When what was her name? Helga was telling the story of the two brothers who...
right. The handsome and the ugly brother.
And then he kills the brother so that he could get the wife. And I was like, ooh, is this going to be where Daniel actually killed the husband and then the husband's actually the dragoor coming back to get revenge? No, it's not. I'll just stop you right there. It's not.
But I liked that story.
Yeah. Just led to a little bit of nothing.
A little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
What did you want to rate it? Do you recommend it to people or not?
I think... Yeah, I already said 3.5. I think that I like the whole movie until the last 90 seconds. If you accidentally turned it off a little bit early, like right as she comes out and she's telling the other two guys that she set it on fire, great, done.
Yeah.
Then I would definitely have people watch it. Or just have people watch it so that we could be like, it's maddening, right? That's fine.
You know what I kept thinking about the first time we watched this was the TV show The Terror, which is about a crew trying to get through the Northwest Passage for the first time. In around this same time period?
Yeah, it felt very similar. Except for there was, like, consequences to the things that they did. Like, I think that was the most maddening part to me, too, is, like, they kept talking about how they were all starving, and then everyone was fine. Nobody...
Right, there's never any scenes of people even complaining about being hungry.
Right, or not being able to do a task because they're so hungry, or, God forbid, dying because they're starving. Like, it's just mentioned.
Right.
No consequence.
Yeah, I think that the stakes are more realistic and more interesting in The Terror. Also, it's a TV series, so it gives you more time to build up tension and mistrust and things like that. But I think it did a better job of balancing kind of the more like possible supernatural aspects with the humankind.
Right.
And did a better job of making you feeling the peril of these people stuck in this climate. So I recommend that instead of this. However, I don't think the second season was quite as good. And it's not about the same thing.
Right.
The Terror was based on a book by Dan Simmons, which I have, but I haven't read. And I'm thinking I want to, even though it's kind of a chunker. Look how big it is.
I don't even know where it is.
Next to, in between, we need to talk about Kevin and the 57 bus right there.
Ah. Yeah. She's thick.
She's thick. But I'm interested in that. And I was hoping this movie would be a little closer to that.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it.
No.
This would be fine if you are not super into gore. I think that it's mostly suspense. There's not a whole lot of blood and guts or anything. So this would be okay if you're more of a thriller, psychological thriller kind of person. But I found it to be a little disappointing.
Even the scene where she's stitching up Daniel's face, they just showed the teacup with a needle and thread in it, and I was like, come on, we just watched someone get their eyelashes sewed onto their eyeballs.
Give us the goods. Come on. Take it. But it's not about that. Although there is a pretty gross scene where they cut this guy's stomach open and eels come out.
Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
He's alive!
He sure isn't. Look at his face. He sure isn't. So why don't we go ahead and get into some spoilers.
Spoilies.
That's a 3 and a 3.5 from us. Spoiler time.
No dong.
No dong.
No
dong in this. So, in the final minute of the movie,
right,
it is revealed because everyone one by one kind of dies. Her love interest goes crazy, attacks the religious kid, and then kills himself in front of her. It seems like he wants to attack her, but he's fighting it, and then he kills himself. And another guy gets sick and dies.
Another guy jumps off the side of a ledge.
Helga runs away and freezes to death.
Mm-hmm.
And all the while, they're all seeing visions.
Right.
And we think, okay, it's definitely this Dragor.
Yeah.
And by the end, she says, well, we got to kill it with fire. That's what Helga said. If we leave, we can take our chances, but it's probably going to follow us. So they're off trying to find it. And she sees
Even though it does say that it's going to be where its body died.
That's true. Traditionally, it lives by where its body is.
Yeah.
But she ends up encountering it in the house and shoots it and sets the place on fire and spends a really long time standing there watching it instead of getting out of the burning house. But whatever. It's a movie. But then, when she comes out, she tells him, it's over, I did it. The house is burning down. What am I going to do? But it's over, I did it. And then we get this little scene where, oh, it was actually one of the people from the shipwreck.
Yeah, we're watching it all in a way that you see what she's actually seeing, and it's a live man. It is not a spirit. So possibly that means that the spirit it has shapeshifted into this man's body.
I suppose.
And has left his supposed brother's body, who is the one that got the axe to the face by Daniel, because he has the golden pocket watch.
Right.
And so he's trying to give it to her and saying, I just need your boat. I just got to get out of here. I'm sorry
I stole your food.
that I took it was me. I was angry. But I just got to get out of here. And so it's either the shapeshifter in his body or possibly just a human that survived the shipwreck with no coat, found his way to this area, and has just been living.
And she kills him, and she sets him on fire. I think what you're meant to think is, oh, there wasn't any spirit.
Right.
They were just driven mad, and now she's going to have to live with what she did and is never going to tell anybody it was actually just a guy.
Right.
That's what I think. And I just found that there weren't enough seeds planted throughout the movie to make us doubt.
Right.
But I suppose, looking back on it, I guess there was. But why was he overcome with a desire to kill her that he had to stop by cutting his throat? Her love interest. What was that? Did he decide he blamed her?
I mean, I guess it could all fall on her because she was the deciding factor.
She did honestly make a series of very poor choices.
But for the right
First of
reasons.
all, if all your men believe in this folklore and your goal is to make them happy, healthy, and survive the winter and get home to their families with their money, you should just let them do whatever precautions they think are necessary.
Well, she didn't think it was everyone at the beginning. She thought it was just Helga planting these, pieces of the shipwreck. So
Even if it was, just let her do it. It's not hurting anybody.
Well, she didn't want them to be reminded of the shipwreck.
I see. I still think it was a bad choice.
Sure. I think that my version would have been better.
That he was it just went...
No, that it was Daniel killed the husband, and then it was the husband that came back.
And the shipwreck was just a red herring.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hated that. I recognize the guy from this, Daniel from Black Mirror. I think he's in the entire History of You, which is my favorite episode of that show, besides San Junipero, which is just sweet and adorable. And then Odessa Young, Eva, I recognized her from that movie Shirley, about Shirley Jackson. I just wanted to mention that.
Sorry, Shirley Jackson. Woo! I'm for real.
Anything else you want to say about this one?
It's
It's not terrible. It's just not.
No.
It's not great.
Yeah, I think I just really liked the throwaway line where they were making fun of Helga and they were like, she probably took all the fish to bribe the mermaids. I just wanted to point that one out. That was cute. Yeah, I would rather they left it open-ended, but or just gave a couple more things where it could have been more ambiguous.
I guess when you think about it, she could have just been drunk the day she sees him.
Right.
The big guy who thought somebody was coming, he had a fever.
Right. They were all, like, wrapped in grief. So, like, they
guilt.
Felt guilt. That's what I meant. Guilt for just letting these people die. They all felt really bad about that. They were all like, what if it was us? Well, it's not.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
starvation.
Maybe we're just disappointed because we wanted it to be supernatural and it wasn't.
Right.
Because don't we always?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did see someone out where they kept, in one of the areas where they supposedly kept the food, even though we never really saw any food out there.
Right.
That could have been a man.
It could have just been a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Decent, but not pretty forgettable. Forgettable enough that we...
Literally 1 week.
Yeah. So, that's what we think about The Damned.
Go in to listen to the jaunty songs when they catch their fish and they're happy.
The pretty candlelight. Yeah. What was the movie I said we're going to see after the next one? Oh, the one by the makers of Barbarian. What's that called? Watchers?
Watchers.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that one, but it doesn't come out until like August.
The 8th, I think.
Yeah, early August. So we are going to go back to something that came out around the same time this one did, I think. The Rule of Jenny Penn for next time. That one is on Shudder and AMC Plus currently. It stars John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush.
And a spooky doll.
And a spooky little puppet doll.
I can't wait.
So that'll be interesting. It's been on my list for a very long time and I haven't watched it, so I'm ready to do so.
Yeah.
John Lithgow is playing Dumbledore on the HBO Harry Potter series.
Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good choice. I just can't be arsed with these Harry Potter adaptations.
Can't be arsed.
Can't be bothered.
Okay.
You're gonna watch.
I'm sure I will. Yeah.
The little kid who's playing Harry is very cute.
I'm in.
Well, anyway, do watch The Rule of Jenny Penn on Shudder or AMC Plus and join us back in 2 weeks to discuss that.
Yes.
I am almost done with The One by John Mars, which Kay talked about last time. I'm enjoying it very much. It's pretty silly, the concept,
Yeah.
and can't really be picked apart too much without it all falling apart.
Please
But
don't think about the science.
no. However, all the twists and turns are really compelling, and I love the format because it's like 1 or 2 pages a chapter, and each one is kind of ending on a cliffhanger, and you want to start the next one, and you can't really get bored because there's 5 different stories, and you just keep turning pages. I read it for several hours yesterday. I'm almost done with it, and I'll probably finish it today. I enjoyed it. So that's The One by John Mars. It is more of a extended Black Mirror episode than it is horror, but it would probably appeal to you. I mean, it's kind of fluffy, but
Yeah. It's a beach read.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like, wow, this is gonna stick with me for the rest of my life.
But as far as beach reads go, it's very fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun to read. And I'm reading it through Hoopla, so if you have a library card, you could probably rent it on there for free.
Yeah, and they have the audiobook too, and it's good because they have different actors reading, so you don't get as confused.
That's cool.
When it switches back and forth to the characters.
I look forward to talking about that.
Yeah.
And I found out in talking to Kay about it that they would do the test.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I would not.
Yeah.
Listeners, would you take a test like a 23andMe swab you cheek type test where they would match you with your genetically matched soulmate? Let us know.
You're such a cynic.
I am. Yeah. I just think that the odds would be astronomically against you actually finding the person who's your biological soulmate. If there's one person on the whole planet...
That's why this service exists, to put you together.
Right.
So you'd rather be...
If you're already in a relationship, the odds that you've actually found the one...
No. Yeah, you'd leave that relationship, for sure.
I wouldn't do it. No.
You're a stayer.
I am a stayer. People who take the tests that are already in a relationship, they're living in a dream world. You actually think you're going to get matched up with the person that you're with?
I don't think they do. I think they're like, well, let me go find the one. How would you be able to stay with someone if you know that this craziness is out there, this true love that you feel instantaneously 92% of the time?
And what if you were matched with someone who was 90 years old? And what if you were matched with someone who was in a vegetative state?
Yeah. Go get that sperm. Have their baby.
It'll be fun to talk about at book club for sure.
For sure.
I hope there's a lot of arguments.
Yeah.
Have you been reading anything good?
Not really.
Just a bunch of fluff?
I started this new series, and it's like, the first one had me pretty drawn in, and then the second one, the writing is so similar, and it's so repetitive, and I'm just like, okay, I don't think I'm going to make it past the...
And how many are there in the series?
I think there's 4 or 5. Yeah, I guess I won't put them on blast. I'll just...
Sure.
I'll reach back out next week, or in 2 weeks, and let you know what I'm reading next.
Yeah, you might as... I mean, we're not here to
each
tear
their
anyone
own.
down.
Yeah.
No. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I think maybe Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, because that's also streaming or available on Hoopla. And Danny from our book club said it was a good one, even though I didn't like The Pallbearers Club, which was his last book.
I did start listening to the one that Danny was talking about in book club, the library at Mount Chair.
No, that wasn't him. That was Dominic.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't really like it. I mean, it's...
Where did you find that?
It's on Hoopla.
Oh,
the
only the
audiobook
audiobook is. That's right.
I don't dislike it. It's just like, it's a lot. It's just like each character has their own specific library that they know everything about, and they're not allowed to talk to each other about it, and all of these things keep happening, but only one of them knows exactly what's happening at each time, and that's weird names and hard to follow.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that one next, but I couldn't find it on ebook. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Listeners, we would love to hear your thoughts on any and all of the movies and books we talked about on this episode. First of all, if you would please, we haven't had a new review in a long time. Not since Case started, and I'm sure they would like some feedback on how they're doing. So if you would like to leave us a review on your listening platform of choice, we would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, let me know.
Let Kay know how they're doing.
Sorry about the nasally voice. Hopefully I'll be back to normal.
I mean, I did this with Jamie for 10 years. They're used to the nasally voice. And also, if you want to interact with us, you may do so on thebloodlust.net. That's our website. You can comment there. You can go on Facebook. You can go on Instagram. Or you can email us at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. Please do. We love to interact with you. Send us recommendations for books. Send us recommendations for movies we have not seen yet, like Straight Jacket. That was a great addition. And I don't know.
Hail Satan.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Kay, for joining me. Thank you, babies, for being quiet. This has been episode 281. And I have been Amy.
And I'm Kay.
Thank you. Good night.
Hail Satan. Oh, was that my cue?
Yeah.
I never do it right. Only early, never on time.
That's right.